All right. I'm going to get this music going. Okay. This is the You, Me, and BTC podcast, our special live edition. We are just a little bit late, 8 minutes late. I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and blame Tim for that like I normally do.
Let's not go ahead. I mean, it was entirely me.
Oh boy, but I don't know, I'm glad to be here. It's been a while since we've done our live shows, and they were so much fun. We did them last summer. And we're giving it another shot. Now, this is definitely our first, there's going to be a little bit of rust as we get going.
There was always rust, Daniel.
Exactly. But that was part of the fun, was just learning how it all goes and figuring out, I don't know, just how everything works, trying to interact with people, find stories, and that's what we're going to do. So thanks for joining us once again. I am Daniel Brown, if you don't know that, and I'm here with my main man.
Nice. Tim Baker. I'm this main man anytime John's not around.
We also have, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a name for this frog here. The first thing that came to mind was Luther. I have no clue why. That's just the first thing I thought of this morning. So, welcome, Luther. We're going to find out more about him next week if John's here, because John actually knows where this picture came from, and I don't even know, but there's Luther. What's up, Luther? He keeps an eye on me. He's my boss. So
hello, Luther.
All right, so the first thing I guess we want to get to today, this is Bitcoin headlines. It's going to be where we're starting from, but who knows where it could go from there. Plenty of overblown opinions and who knows what, honestly. So we're going to start with a story about these kids who thought that instead of having advertising on their website, they could have the computers mine Bitcoin when they visited the website, and that would be how they could make their revenue. So I don't know, it's a pretty crazy idea. And we do have, we're going to go through all of it and see how it went down, but we do have on our website, youmeandbtc.com/live, we have a poll, and you can say, would you prefer advertising, traditional advertising, or if the website made your computer mine Bitcoin, would you prefer that? Which one would you rather do? And let us know. Go to youmeandbtc.com/live, vote in the poll, because I really want to know, but we'll describe more of that story very shortly. You can also send us tweets. Send them to @youmeandbtc using the hashtag YMBLive. If you send us a tweet, we will read it on the air and respond to it if I can find it, if I'm notified, and if I can read it and everything. So send those to @youmeandbtc, hashtag YMBLive. You can also do that from our website, youmeandbtc.com/live. Just click a button and it'll bring up a little box, and you can send us a tweet, a question, a comment, anything you want. If you think Tim is the worst co-host on the planet Earth, let us know, because
the microphone.
See, there you go. He's definitely the worst co-host on planet Earth. I also have to mention this really cool, there we go, I'll get the pointing right, this really cool logo right here. They're sponsoring this show, Genitrust and Wall of Coins. We are literally so glad to have them. They've sponsored our regular podcast a couple times, or I don't know, for a couple months now. They're literally the best people ever. Their Wall of Coins website lets you buy and sell Bitcoin for cash deposits or with cash deposits. I use them every day. Honestly, it's possible that I'll get notified during the show that a sale went down. So huge thank you to Genitrust for helping sponsor the show. Genitrust is the parent company of Wall of Coins. And I talked to the CEO last night, and he basically was saying our goal is to find problems with Bitcoin and just make it easier to use, make it more fluid, smoother, all that kind of stuff. And that's one of their projects. Their current project is Wall of Coins, and it really is an awesome thing. I wrote a review actually about a week ago, so check that out if you're interested. So we're going to jump into the story. Remember to be sending us tweets all the time if you have any thoughts about the story or anything really. Tim, did you? I guess I should have sent you the link to that. Did you find that story?
Yeah, about the what you were talking about
All
before
right, cool.
with the
Yeah. Go ahead and
jersey stuff. Yeah,
take it away then. Just
take it
share
away.
a little bit. Tell us what's going on.
Well, it seems like in New Jersey they had some trouble with some. It was a hackathon project. It looks, yeah, it was a hackathon project. The New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs. They settled with the developers behind Tidbit, a student hackathon project that experimented with Bitcoin mining as an alternative to online advertising. So I get like they were Tidbit's kind
It's
of the.
basically,
All right, go.
yeah, they made this program to, whenever you visit a website, instead of being shown ads for them to help make their money, it just makes your computer do a little bit of mining, and the revenue goes to the website, not to you. And this landed them in some hot water because they're the government's like, well, hey, you're using people's computers inappropriately. Like you're taking advantage of their computers and making it do stuff that they don't understand and they don't expect. And on the one hand, I understand that. I understand that people's computers were being used maybe without their knowledge, although here's the thing, like this only went on for 2 days. It was just like an experiment just to see how it even works. So I'm kind of wondering how they even got like caught so fast. Like what, like you do this little science project and 2 days later you have a lawsuit against you or something. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, and I don't know. It is tough, and I guess I'll ask you, Tim, to kind of respond to the poll. What what do you think? Is it well? First of all, whether or not these are right or wrong or good or bad to the poll,
Which one would you
prefer? Which one would you?
Oh,
what do you
crap.
think? I just hit the play button on the radio stream. We do have a radio stream. You probably heard that. Yeah, we do have a radio stream. It's kind of a side project right now because it's a little quirky, but if you prefer radio or audio to the live video, you can check that out and play it in apps and stuff. But yeah, Tim, which would you prefer? I'm not asking about right and wrong yet, but just which would you rather have your computer do when you're on a website?
Probably ads, just because I don't like the idea of something of using my computer, I guess.
Interesting.
Even though ads don't bother me that much. I don't even use ad block because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like if I just see something on the side, I don't care as long as it's not completely covering the screen.
Right. Although that is becoming more of a problem these days, where you're reading an article and like the video slides out right in the middle of your article and stuff.
Yeah, those are
pop up.
Yeah, I should preface that by saying that it's mostly just for pictures or text things. The ones that pop up in the middle of the screen, it's a video, or the videos that just start playing after you've been on a page for like 30 minutes or 30 seconds, and then you're like trying to figure it, but then you don't want to press it to pause it because you don't know if it's going to take you somewhere. But yeah, those are annoying. If it's just like an ad on a screen, like on most news websites or most, like what kind of website were they even using, or was it just something that could do that?
Yeah, that's even a good question because, like I said, it was literally just this little experiment. So I don't even know how they wouldn't have had this set up on like a big website. I wonder if what it is they made this program called Tidbit, and maybe they released that code and people could just put it on their websites. So it's possible that a couple of websites were doing it. Although I'm seeing here also it's talking about the purpose of invading user privacy. So maybe nothing ever happened. They just thought that they were
Well, it says
planning
there
on
were
violating privacy.
It says that no bitcoins were ever mined.
Okay, yeah,
While the
okay,
program was
exactly.
live.
So
That's what it, but
yeah, so
yeah,
that's
yeah. It was New Jersey was trying to say that their activities, what does it say? Developers' activities constitute violations of the state's Computer-Related Offensive Act and Consumer Fraud Act because they were doing something without people's knowledge, I guess, or that they were enabling that possibly.
yeah, definitely that's their claim. And I'm still a little bit shocked that it would like happen so fast that they would get caught and
I don't know.
harassed that quickly. But
Probably because
I
it
want to
was
get back to
public.
this
If it
poll.
was part of a project like that.
That's true. If they did it
Yeah.
at a hackathon, probably a lot of
Yeah.
people knew about it and stuff.
Well, I like the terms of the settlement. It says that they agreed not to access New Jersey computers unlawfully for a period of 2 years. But
Oh yes. Oh, that I remember reading that. That was great. It's like, all right, we'll settle, and we promise that we won't do anything against the law. It's like, well,
for
wait,
two
that wasn't
years.
already a thing. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. So, but after 2 years, they can access it unlawfully.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, maybe it's different during those hackathon things. I don't know.
I don't see them lifting the law for a hackathon. I
No,
don't
I
know about
mean like the development of a program. I don't know how computer laws work as far as if you're allowed to develop malicious stuff or and how far you're allowed to go with that. That's more what I was meaning.
that. Okay.
But
Yeah, I can see that. So I want to get back to this poll because I am completely surprised that you prefer ads. I mean, well, for a couple reasons. I like Bitcoin. I want to get back to this poll
I
because
did it
I am
again.
completely
I
surprised.
know.
I guess I have autoplay on. That explains why you had it going, Tim, too. I really should not have autoplay on that radio
Yeah,
stream.
he was just like yelling at me about this. It's terrible.
All right, I'll update that real quick. But yeah, I cannot believe that I hate ads. I mean, it's well, I'm honestly I'm having a change of heart over the past few weeks, and we talked about this, Tim,
Oh
because
yeah.
I used to hate ads. They were so annoying. YouTube, I couldn't freaking stand them. Banner ads were okay. I mean, as long as they weren't intrusive, I never had a problem with banner ads because you can just ignore them. But I hated ads to the point where I would like, okay, PayPal has this thing now where, and they've had it for a couple months, where when you log into PayPal, before it takes you to your account, it shows you a little splash screen with just, I don't know, a new PayPal feature. Like, hey, check out our PayPal debit card. And then you can say, no, proceed to my account. Or, yeah, I want the debit card. It got to the point where when stuff like that happened, I would be clicking proceed to account before I even saw what the ad was. And then I would get to my account and I'd be like, wait, that might have been interesting. Like, wait, what was that? I want to see that again. And that's what my mindset was. I would just get no, that's an ad. I don't want it. Go away. Ad. Don't even look at it. Don't even read it. Just find the X and click it. And that's how much I hated ads. And I still, in a sense, they're annoying and stuff. So they're ads. You know, what are you going to do? That's just, they're everywhere. But running this podcast and stuff, it's really kind of changing my heart because you realize that that's what you got to do. If we have a venue like this, if we're putting out news and stories and opinions and stuff, there's space there for ads, and that's what we got to do to make our money. So because I've been doing it, I've kind of had a change of heart and I've actually been fairly interested in a bunch of ads and stuff. Like, oh, that's an ad. How are they running that ad? Am I interested in this product? And I actually pay more attention now because I'm part of it and I do it more often. I don't know, Tim. Maybe I'm selling myself out, but
Well, yeah, you're one you could do that, yeah. Well, I remember the big conversation coming up, especially over the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, where about ads and
whoa, whoa.
everything. Like you wanted to watch it.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah.
no, it started the Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Because I was stuck
Yeah,
working.
because
Yeah, what?
Well, yeah, just because I was interested in the Super Bowl. Well, obviously everybody watches the ads on the Super Bowl. With the with the fight of the century, it wasn't so much for the commercials that I wanted to watch it. In fact, it wasn't at all. It was more for the like I don't even know what you would call it, in house or whatever, like the logos on the ring and the logos on their shorts and everything. Like
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
companies like Nike paid probably millions of dollars to get their logo on Pacquiao shorts or whatever. I don't know which one of them probably. And
One
that's the
of them
kind of stuff I
probably.
want to see. Not because I care about Nike. I don't care about Nike unless it's cheap. I mean, and it's not usually. But I was just more interested to see how that all happened. How did they make it all go down and stuff? But I should, for anybody that has joined us recently, I should mention kind of what we're talking about. And there's a poll on our website that you can check out, and I hope please vote in it. It's
Please,
youmeandbtc.com/live.
just give
But
us attention.
basically, there were websites that were hoping to, instead of running ads, they would just have probably some JavaScript or whatever that would make the computer that was visiting the website mine Bitcoin for the website. And that's how they would make their revenue. And I'm interested to know, which would you prefer? Would you prefer to see ads, or would you prefer that the website makes your computer do Bitcoin mining for them, not for you, for them? And I'm surprised that Tim said he would prefer the ads, because I'm I'm not a fan of ads, but also because not a huge fan, although like I said, I'm changing. But also just I like Bitcoin, right? I mean, why not support the network? Why not support the website? If you really like it, why would you not want to get them some Bitcoin and have them do that? I mean, I guess you would have to have the provision that you knew that that's all your computer was doing. I mean, because I think you brought up that you were worried, like, oh, they're just doing stuff on my computer and who knows what it is. I can understand that concern, but if you were sure that they were just doing Bitcoin mining, does that change anything?
I mean, it could. Part of it's I just don't like. Well, I mean, it's not like I have a problem with it. I just don't like people using my computer to make money directly. I mean, it ends up probably being the same thing as if they're doing the ads. They're probably making a little bit more money, maybe with the Bitcoin, because I don't click on stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm kind of going back and forth while you're talking, as far as, because I mean, I like the idea of, yeah, supporting the network, but if it was just mining Bitcoin and it was like, okay, hey, I don't even need a screen to tell me, like, you need to click this and check market and then we can do it. Like, just whenever I go on, be like, okay, we're now using your computer to mine. If you don't want to do it, exit out. If you do, keep on going. That's fine. I guess automatically I didn't like that the setup that people didn't know. I don't really have a problem with that, because plenty of ads do way more confusing stuff to your computer that people don't know, and all the cookies and stuff gets put on to check stuff.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting thing. I mean, we want to get back to some stories pretty soon, but yeah, I remember I talked recently with, it was actually again just last night, with the CEO of let me see if I can get this pointing right. Nope, it's over here. The CEO of Genitrust, and yeah, he was telling me about this thing called the contextual engine for ads, and basically before you're ever shown an ad, they run this thing called the contextual engine, and it says, like, has this guy ever been to this website before? What is he interested in? What language does he speak? And it runs all kinds of analysis to determine what ad they should show him, which one he's most likely to click. And that is true. That is some pretty, well, it's fascinating to me just that all that happens, but I can see how some people would be worried, like, I don't want all that running on my computer. Although when you think about it, it's not. Well, first of all, it doesn't all run on your computer. I'm sure a huge portion of it runs on the servers and stuff. But also it's not especially heavy. I mean, as long as it doesn't weigh down your computer, And I mean, nobody ever notices it. Nobody's ever been like, "Oh crap, that contextual engine's holding me up again, waiting for this website to load." I mean, so it's not really that heavy of a thing. But and then there's a whole tracking conversation, which we actually had a couple of weeks ago. We did an episode about privacy, and kind of one of our points was, or not really a point, but a question we were asking was, is privacy overrated? There are people that are so worried about tracking and Google, and they're like, oh crap, they're coming after us. They're showing us ads for wristwatches after
Oh
we
my goodness.
search on eBay.
Amazon ads designed for what I want to buy. It's just terrible. I can't deal with this.
Yeah. And that bugs me because who cares? It's an ad for a wristwatch. It's not hurting you. If they know what you're interested in, they're not going to come to your house and throw wristwatches at you until you pay for one. Actually, I don't know.
I'm completely fine with them throwing me stuff until I find one of them. Like, I'm like, I'll give you like $15 for this, I guess. But
yeah, I do though. I'm checking the poll here, and it looks like exactly 50-50 for the ads and the mining. So get over there and vote. If you have a different opinion, get to youmeandbtc.com/live and vote. Break the tie.
How many votes are there?
It's 2-2 right now. So
okay. I thought you were.
And there is somebody voted. You're allowed to put in your own answer as a other vote. And somebody did that, but they didn't. I don't see any notes. I don't think they actually wrote anything in the box.
I refuse to answer the question.
Stupid question.
Provide my own
But
answer.
actually, if you have any other thoughts or opinions, I mean, make sure you get them to us. Just send us a tweet. There's on the same page, youmeandbtc.com/live. There's a button right there if you want to send a tweet, or you can just do it yourself. But send a tweet to @youmeandbtc with the hashtag YMBLive. And as long as I'm notified, as long as I can find it, which usually I am, then we'll read it on the air. If you have a question or comments or anything, honestly, I'll pull it up right now to see if there are any, but I don't think there are. Just make sure you tag us @youmeandbtc. That should be the best way of getting us notified. Cool. All right. Well, anything on that, Tim? Any other thoughts on ads? We'll definitely at least touch on it just to remind people to vote in the poll, but we might also move on to our next story. Anything else, Tim, on the ads, marketing, tracking, this tidbit student hackathon thing?
Not really.
No.
I mean,
all right. Yeah, we'll touch on it briefly down the road. And
nice to see where it
I will
goes.
take a quick second. Well, yeah. Okay. It'd be cool if it becomes a thing because it will be fun to at least try out on our website. Actually, that would be cool. When you could do it, if you want to do it fully transparently, you could just do it where when they come to your website, they could literally say they could opt in or out of the Bitcoin mining. And if they opt out, you just show them ads. So it's kind of their choice. I guess that's a pretty cool way to do it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just kind of introduce ourselves for anybody that's just joining. Thank you for joining us. We are the You, Me, and BTC podcast.
We need no
This is our first live show in quite a while. We did it last summer, but that the radio network we were going through eventually fell apart. It was being DDoS'd and stuff. So we're trying it again. I'm glad to be here. We're doing Bitcoin headlines. This is all brought to you by Genitrust, the parent company of wallofcoins.com. Super glad to have them on board. I literally use their website every single day to buy and sell Bitcoins for cash. Well, I tend to sell them, but you can do both, and it's great for both. So check out wallofcoins.com. And thanks for being here. I'm really glad to have you. Check out youmeandbtc.com/live. If that's not where you already are, you can send us tweets there and vote in our poll. All right, let's get into this next story, Tim. this is, I don't know if I sent this to you. We were a little rushed at the beginning of the show just because it's our first time. We're a little rusty still. So, so I don't know if I sent this to you. Actually, just so you can get to it quickly, I will paste it real quick in the Hangout chat. I'll try and be as quick as I can with this. There we go. This is another one from CoinDesk. I mean, we'll grab any story that's important, but I'm guessing that over
if
the
you want us to
course of
talk
this,
about it too.
What's that?
Tweet us a story if you want us to talk about it too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Send it to @UMeandBTC. Just send us a story and we can check it out for today or for next week. We're hoping this will be a weekly thing, and every Wednesday from noon to 2. This will also go out as a podcast. So if you can't be here live, the video will be archived on YouTube and the audio will go out through our regular podcast feed. So you don't have to make the live slot, but we're going to try and do it every week live. So if you want to tweet us a story now, please do. We'll definitely get to it, look it over, and offer some opinions. And you can offer your opinion, send us a tweet. But if you find a story tomorrow or over the next week, just send it to us, and we'll put it on the list and hit it on Wednesday between noon and 2. So definitely do that. But this is also from New Jersey. I guess they got a lot of Bitcoin legislation going on over there. New Jersey legislators propose tax breaks for Bitcoin businesses. So just based on the headline, it's interesting because, and if you don't know, we're pretty darn liberty oriented. I mean, we're a Bitcoin podcast, but if you had to rank all of our kind of side emphases or something, liberty is way up there. We're liberty people. That's what we like to focus on. And so then with that in mind, when you hear a story about Bitcoin tax breaks, I mean, obviously we love tax breaks for the people we like. Everybody loves tax breaks. But then there's the whole idea of having taxes in the first place. Even if there's a tax break, to us, it still seems like theft. It still seems like it's damaging to people. It's damaging to the entire society. So go ahead, Tim. What were you going to say?
They're just giving back a little bit to you of what they already took. But I'm all for it. Any tax break you can get, take it.
Yeah. They say they call it the Digital Currency Jobs Creation Act. So part of the goal here, I guess, lowering taxes, then the businesses will be able to afford more employees, and they'll be able to pay more people, and there will be more employment. And I actually, yes, there are still taxes, but I'm actually really glad that they're doing this because we don't see that very often at all in the government. I mean, New York and Benjamin Losky, they're just trying to bash Bitcoin to pieces up there and send every business out of the state. I mean, several businesses have said that if the bit license stuff passes, they're just not going to serve New York. They're just going to leave New York, and anybody that lives in New York will not be able to use this exchange or whatever Bitcoin business. So that's obviously terrible. New York is just driving people away. And in this case, I mean, who knows how it'll actually go down, because as always, there are still going to be taxes, but at least at the face value, they're trying to draw people in. They're trying to make more digital currency jobs by having lower taxes. And I guess there's really nothing bad about that. I mean, I'm really glad they're doing it. I mean, most governments don't like Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a threat to fiat currency and a threat to their control because Bitcoin can't really be controlled. And these New Jersey people apparently are saying, you know what? We want to support digital currency. We want those jobs here. So we're going to it's just a proposal, but we might give them a tax break. So
Bitcoin poses less of a, like you're talking about how most governments don't like it because it threatens with the money, but a state government is way less concerned about a federal currency because it's not really their jurisdiction to be worried
absolutely.
about it. so they're not going to care. But all comment on here makes a decent point that about like you said about the New York jobs. So as long as it's like a state government and with the seeing as how everyone taxes everything, if you find a state that's real close, it's being really hard on Bitcoin, you're really good to it. You're going to take every single job out of there. Like they were saying, we're just going to leave. So why not go someplace where it's a lot cheaper? And we were talking about what was the? It was the like it wasn't truly part of the UK, but it was like a protectorate of it. It's an
Oh, the Isle
island
of
of
Man.
Man or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, and they were talking about
Yeah.
lower taxes on it too. And yeah, I mean, why not? Why the jobs are going to go where they're able to make the most money? So it makes sense, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. One issue that I could see is, well, what it depends what kind of people they attract. Because if you attract more, I mean, there are people who run Bitcoin centered businesses who are in favor of more regulation because they think it will kind of legitimize Bitcoin, solidify it, make it more attractive if it's regulated. And you never know. I mean, if they have these tax breaks, that could be exactly the kind of people that they attract. And these people could ultimately make things worse. Now, I don't know if there's anything you can do about that because even if you don't give the tax breaks, those people might still show up and advocate regulation. So maybe it doesn't make much of a difference, but it is interesting to think. I mean, what kind of people do you think they would be more likely to attract regulation friendly Bitcoin CEOs and stuff?
With lower
Maybe. I
taxes.
don't know. Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think they're going to attract a lot of them, and because it's a a business that it's going to deal with the legal system, it's probably going to be more of a CEO who's concerned with the regulation, probably. Um, I mean, a lot of guys who make money in Bitcoin just kind of bypass it because they don't have like a they don't want to deal with it. They kind of just do side jobs for Bitcoin stuff like that. I mean, I think who knows if people act like how many people actually do that, but I think because it's a law thing that do you get what I'm saying at all?
Yeah. No, I think so. Just that, well,
It's a
say it one
legal
more time,
thing, so
just so
that
I can.
we're talking about a legal a, a law possibly being passed, or not a law,
Okay.
but just to make tax
Yeah, I
tax
think I
breaks. So
do know
someone
what
who's
you're
dealing
saying.
with taxes is going to probably be more concerned with regulation than someone who just writes stuff on his computer
Right.
or does
Right.
code for someone, just gets Bitcoin set and he kind of just does it anonymously, more or less. Um,
Yeah, and that so you're saying that because this is already a legal thing, even a tax break, it's still a legal thing. So if they're coming there because they care about legality, then there is a fairly good chance that they will support further regulation. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I mean, I don't know why they don't. Well, I guess they don't have to. Like, there is a reason for people to go and go to New Jersey just for the sake of getting the tax breaks. Like, no matter what, if they care about regulation or not,
Right.
and even the
Right.
ones who
Yeah,
do,
that's still a thing.
even the ones who do care about regulation aren't necessarily. I don't know why they would going to New Jersey. Why they're going to push for more necessarily? Because I mean, as long as it's just if it's just businesses, I mean, are you saying like they'll start donating to groups that push for that in
Well,
Bitcoin? Because it's
I
like,
mean,
why
yeah,
would they do?
donating could
Yeah,
happen. I mean, I was just thinking general support. They might just go out there and say, "Hey, we need more regulation in order to make Bitcoin more legitimate and more attractive." But yeah, definitely donating could be a thing.
yeah. I mean,
I don't
I
know.
think they're
And I do
probably
like
going
your
to do
point.
that. It's in their best interest in their best interest
Yeah.
to do that because it makes more people, gives them more money, and it's just going to. I mean, it's going to be up to people who have Bitcoin how they're going to decide if they're going to want to support ones who do that, and or if they're going to want to stay more underground. Because I mean, we can talk about it later, but how long has it been at this price? Right around like $230.
Oh yeah, 238. I mean,
Completely
yeah, I
off what
mean,
we were
I'd have to.
talking about. But,
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but that's fine.
230.
I
I
don't
think
I
I
don't
was
know
talking
how
to someone
long.
else. I was talking to just some random person who had no idea about Bitcoin. They even said that they thought it had been stable for a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, it has. It hasn't moved more than like I can't think of any big jumps recently, and it does
Yeah,
kind of
well,
have to do with what we're talking about, just because it. I think that itself is going to
I'm
help bring
looking
more
at
people in.
I'm looking at the 1 month chart, and the biggest swing is from like 225 to 245. And
And
then
that
I'll jump to a 3 month chart. I guess 3 months it goes from like 220 up to like 280.
okay,
So, that's bigger, but
yeah,
still relatively stable over 3 months.
for
I mean,
Bitcoin.
compared to what it used to do. Yeah. Okay, so wait, that is a really interesting fact, but tell me again what that means for the regulation stuff.
It doesn't necessarily have something to do with regulation. I was saying that in and of itself, I'm hoping. I guess what I was saying is I'm hoping more. People are going to focus more on the fact that it's stabilized a little bit now, and
Okay.
that's not like it. You could argue that because there's some regulation now that it's because of that, but there wasn't any particular regulatory action that made it stabilized. So people
Oh
would be
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe they're not going to. People are still probably going to say, well, we need more regulation, but you can argue that it didn't stabilize because of it. So I mean, you can still make the other arguments about people scamming or making it more compliant, but you can't make the argument that it's going to necessarily make it more stable, I guess, or that it's the only way.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that. And yeah, even regardless of all this regulation and this story about tax breaks, that is worth mentioning that that's just really cool that the Bitcoin price has stabilized, and it's the longer it stays stable, I mean a gentle upward trend might be nice, but the longer it stays stable, that's going to affect a lot of opinions. Now, it won't attract as much attention. So it is a little bit of a trade-off if you're just going for attention and adoption, because if when Bitcoin spikes up or down, everybody knows about it. Not everybody, but it can make the news and stuff. So you're not going to I guess it's kind of quality versus quantity. If it's not spiking, you're going to attract fewer people, but the people that you do attract might be much higher quality because they they recognize that it's stable, they recognize that that's valuable, and instead of getting in the Bitcoin space just because they want to buy it and then spike it and then sell it, they actually enter for more legitimate reasons. If it's stable enough, they could say, "Hey, maybe I can start a business with this because it is stable," or they can say they can look at the kind of the values, the decentralization behind Bitcoin, and they can say, hey, I really like that. I like the blockchain, so I'm going to take part in this community, not because the price is going up, but because they're high quality adopters, right? I mean, they're in it for the right reasons, and that's been something that's come up quite a bit, over the past year, because there were so many people that got into it just because of the price, and that's what made the bubble, and that's what made it tough. I mean, that's partly what made the bubble. So, although if we're being honest, I think Tim, you and I both got in here for the price, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah. I
not
mean,
so
no,
much
that
you.
definitely helped. That helped a
Yeah,
little
that's kind of
bit,
what
but it wasn't
spurred
the
it,
original reason. No. At first, I was like, "Oh, this
But
is kind of
to be,
interesting." Then I was like, "Oh, it's going up. Maybe I should buy more."
yeah, 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 that's exactly right. It starts out as a general interest, but there's no reason to get into it until it
No,
starts
I had
going
a
up, and
reason
then
to
you're
get
like,
into
oh,
it.
well, yeah, that's probably true. but but also, to be even more fair, for us, it didn't take until it spiked to $1,200. For us, it took well, for me, I remember the decision was made for me when it went from like $15 to $20. I'm like, all right, I'm in, right? So, and then I was
Yeah.
planning on selling everything between like $30 and $40 because holy crap, it doubled. Wow.
I think I
And
sold some at
luckily I did.
80, and then it
Yeah,
jumped up to like
luckily I
150
didn't.
the next week.
Yeah, cool. Well, cool. Well, we will take a quick moment. We're not going to do any breaks during this show. Unless we desperately need to, but we don't really have commercials lined up, so we're just going to go for 2 hours straight and have a good time. So that'll be interesting, but I will take a moment just again for anybody that's joined us recently. First of all, thank you for joining us. Super glad to have you. We are the You, Me, and BTC podcast. Check us out at youmeandbtc.com if you're not already there. We do a weekly podcast already every Thursday, but this is our first, well, not our first live show. This is a reboot of our live show. It is our first time doing video with the live show. So thanks for being here.
No, we've done a live show with video.
Yeah, we did, have we?
Yeah, we did the Hangouts last, it wasn't as much of a It was live, though.
Yeah, you're right. We did that. Those were virtual Bitcoin meetups, and they were a lot of fun. And maybe we could do those again for one of these live shows. They weren't Bitcoin news shows. They were virtual meetups in the Hangout. We did 2 of those before, and they were a lot of fun because anybody was invited to join inside the Hangout. And we had some guys from Canacoin. They were our biggest supporters, the developers and the well, no, we loved having them and had some great discussions. So we might get those going again eventually. But anyway, You, Me, and BTC podcast, our first live show for the reboot. Thanks for joining us. I'm Daniel Brown, and I'm here with my Superman co-host, whatever.
Tim Baker.
Yeah, that's Tim. We have, if you've never listened to the podcast before, we do have another co-host. He couldn't be here today, but John Stewart should be here next week and most weeks, and obviously we're excited for that. We love having him on. And I did mention at the beginning of the show, he knows about this picture. I think he knows where it came from, and so he can tell us about this frog back here. I named him Luther. He's my boss, so he keeps an eye on me. He does look pretty threatening, like kind of like, what the heck are you doing? He looks like he's glaring at me. Anyway.
He's glaring. No, Daniel, don't feel bad. He's glaring at the person taking the picture. Don't put that kind of like emotion towards yourself. Okay.
No, he's glaring at is you. He's
he actually is. He's staring right at me. So all the listeners or anyone who's watching.
Why is that kid on my screen? Yeah. Well, I guess this will also this will be archived on YouTube, but it'll also go out through our regular podcast feed. So now you guys are all going to wonder, what's this frog? What are they talking about? This frog?
This elusive frog that you must see on YouTube.
Anyway, so we're going to bring up another story, Tim. Tim, send me the link for our next one. And while he's grabbing that, send us tweets, please, at You, Me, and BTC with the hashtag YMBLive. If you send us any tweets at all, if I can find them, then we'll read them on the air. We'll respond to questions and stuff. So send us literally anything you want. You can also go to youmeandbtc.com/live, and you can just click a button there, and the tweet box will come up with the right stuff filled in. There's also a poll there that I really want you guys to get over there and vote in our poll. We talked about this at the very beginning of the show. And right now, the votes are 50 to 25%. Well, I guess if you exclude the other votes, it's 60. It's 2/3 are in favor of ads on websites, and 1/3 are in favor of Bitcoin mining on websites, which does surprise me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I would have expected that people would support the Bitcoin mining. But basically, if you are just joining us, the story was that there was a hackathon, and these people did a project where they they instead of running ads on a website, they just ran code that would make the computer do mining for the website, not for the person on the website. The money would go to the website owners, and yeah, that was an interesting story. We talked about it at the beginning, and yeah, get over there and vote at umimbtc.com/live. I want to know which one you would prefer. I do see here now the two other responses. I do see their comments. The one person said, actually, let me pay Bitcoins to disable ads.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I mean, as a website administrator, as I run umimbtc.com, if you're in, I mean, this will I would love to set this up and maybe I can make this happen over the next few months. But if somebody would rather just pay me Bitcoin directly instead of have me put ads on my website, yes. Yes, absolutely. I would so much rather just take your Bitcoin than show you ads. So I do absolutely love that idea. And maybe we could even make that happen on our website sometime over the next few weeks. I don't know if there's I feel like somebody has to have been working on a system like that, and just some sort of code or program that we could install on our website. I love that idea.
No
And then
advertising.
the other
No,
comment,
no, 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 no.
they're like, "No, we need your space."
Just
But then the next,
Daniel, they're gonna kill you.
the other comment for the other answer to the poll, there's an option for you to submit your own answer, and the other one's pretty similar. He says, "I like premium services, pay to opt out of ads, and support the site." It's pretty similar,
Yeah.
and holy crap, yes. I mean, I haven't had time to set up this meeting, but this started I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was talking with Tim and John about we want to do a premium section of our website where you can pay monthly or maybe you can pay per episode and you get extra content. We could, tack on 10 minutes of an after party just for subscribers, or we could release special episodes, special interviews just for subscribers. We've talked about that a few weeks ago, and that is definitely a possibility. And also, and then later, this was completely unrelated. We didn't even share those thoughts and plans, but then way back in the 30s, probably episode 30s or 40s, we interviewed a man named Valerian Bennett, and he ran a website called the protocol.tv, and they're just a media kind of outlet for Bitcoin related stuff. And he Skyped me the other day and said, "Hey, we're working on this project which is basically pay-per-view video with Bitcoin online." So you put up a video, and people, if they go to that web page, they can't actually watch it until they pay $1 or something in Bitcoin to a certain address. And that's the kind of thing that these people are talking about: premium content. Let them pay money instead of watch ads. And I like that. I like that idea. And we'll see if we can make it happen. I'm scheduled to speak with Valerian, I don't know, as soon as possible. So that could be a thing. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, wow, that was, again, get to our website, umimbtc.com/live, and vote in our poll. That's the question is, would you prefer advertising on a website, or would you prefer that the website does Bitcoin mining not for you, but for the website? And right now it's, if you skip the other responses, it's 5-2 in favor of ads. So that's, I don't know, interesting skew. I wouldn't have expected that, but so it goes. And if your opinion's different, get over there and vote. Send us a tweet to @UmiandBTC with the hashtag YMBLive if you want to, and we'll read that on the air. We'll get some thoughts, and yeah, send us anything you like now or anytime throughout the week. We could get to it next Wednesday. So do that. and we'll jump into this next story. Tim, go for it.
Okay, yeah, this is from the Canadian University. They're adding some Bitcoins to their bookstore locations. It's a university in British Columbia called Simon Fraser University, and their campus bookstore is going to start accepting Bitcoin payments starting yesterday, so May 26th, and they're also going to be installing Bitcoin ATMs at three Bitcoin ATMs three ATMs at three bookstore locations in Burnaby, Surrey, and Vancouver. The unit's provided by BitCent. It's an Ontario-based ATM operator, and they already have a few ATM locations across Canada, according to its website. But their main goal with this apparently is the executive director of Ancillary Services, Mark McLaughlin, said that the only way to have an opinion about
I think it's McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
Sorry,
people
Mark.
with that.
Mark McLaughlin, he works for the Simon Fraser University. He said that the only way to have an opinion about this is why I remember the live ones being difficult. The only way to have an opinion about digital currency is to learn about it, and we are to provide a firsthand experience in that regard. So I like that attitude that definitely the best way to show people Bitcoin, to show how easy it is to move around, to show how, I mean, you just give it to people, you get it in their hands. And I like, it's okay whenever people meet with like their friends and friends give each other like a few bucks, but if you can go and just spend like $20, that's actually enough to really buy something more than just like a trinket online. I think that's better because it invests people some more. And they're even having a not like a sale, but like an event that the first 100 customers who spend 20 Canadian dollars worth or more in Bitcoin will get $5 gift cards. So they're incentivizing people to come and check it out. If you're anywhere in that area, I'd say definitely go out there, support that, get some Bitcoin, get some gift cards. I don't know what their prices are. Maybe it might just be better to just buy off the street. I don't know, man. But
to buy
I don't know,
gift cards, you mean?
No, Bitcoin. How expensive are the ATMs? Do you know offhand?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. I'm sure it just depends. You mean like how expensive to use? What are the fees?
Yeah, like what are the
or how
add-on costs?
buying?
No, I mean I know they're a couple thousand or more than a couple thousand.
I would say a couple percent maybe. I mean that does bug me because I don't know. It's pretty similar to advertising, but just little percent fees bug the crap out of me because I don't want to pay for anything, right? I'm a millennial, so I'm entitled to anything I want for absolutely free, right? I can pirate as much music as I want, and there's hundreds and probably even millions of apps available for free. So I'm entitled to anything I want, and I don't have to pay for anything ever, right? So
exactly, except for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's real.
Yeah. So ATM fees do bug me. I mean, just a few even $250. Like what? It's a computer sending little tiny messages to a bank. Like what do you need $250 from me for?
They need to build the thing. I get the fees, but at the same time, like I don't need to pay this. But I don't know, if you're out in that area, go support it, and then just maybe act like you're buying something, and then just instead buy it off of a site or buy it off of someone you can find on local Bitcoins or using Mycelium, something like that. But maybe spend $20 and get a $5 gift card. You can do that.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time, and I'm a cheapskate. That's just the plain
cheesecake.
That's just what it is. I hate spending money, and so I can't stand fees. But anyway, I do want to get to. We actually do have a couple tweets. They actually look like from, I don't know, 20 minutes ago or something. So I should have found them earlier, but I'm figuring out how to find them now.
Oh, I'm
So
also
anyway,
providing some weird information in the Reddit thing, like the way to do it. So if it's anyone from there, that might be why it's messed up.
what's messed up? The video, you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
No, the tweets, like how they're tweeting, and if you're not noticing it,
Oh,
never
well,
mind. Just go.
I think they're working. I think I got it going. Anyway, um, this one's actually really important. This is related to our poll about would you rather see ads on a website or would you rather that your browser does mining for the website? And Josh, Twitter handle is at StarSoccer9. He says, I wouldn't want someone mining on my computer. 100 plus tabs equals a lot of mining. And holy crap, I completely believe you. 100 plus tabs. I haven't gotten that far, but at any given time, I easily have 30 or 40 tabs open just because that I'm working on everything. I have like 10 tabs that are pinned in my Chrome. That's you can pin tabs so that they're always there and they're kind of smaller. So there's like 10 or so that I just regularly need all the time. And then the other 20 or 30 are just whatever I'm working on at the time. If I'm making a website post, writing an article, adding content, if I'm trading Bitcoin, if I'm reading Bitcoin news, if I'm trying to tweet about Bitcoin, I just have tabs on tabs on tabs. So I agree. If all of them were mining Bitcoin, that could easily become an issue. Although I expect that they would have some measures in place. I mean, they're not just going to, well, actually, no, I'm sure they're going to try to hog as many resources as they can. So you might actually be right. Even if you just had one website, one tab open, they might just they're going to be greedy. Of course they are. So they're going to hog as many resources as they can, and they're probably going to try to avoid any checks that will slim down the resources that they can use. And so I could easily see that slowing down your computer, and I could see that becoming a problem. So thanks for the tweet, Josh, Star Soccer 9. Anybody else, if you have any thoughts, comments, send a tweet to @UmianBTC with the hashtag YMBLive. We have Wall of Coins sent us a tweet. They are part of Genitrust, one of our sponsors. They've been amazing people. They just shared the link for the show. So glad to have them on with us. Check them out at, well, I would say check out wallofcoins.com because you can buy and sell Bitcoin for cash there. It's an awesome place. I've used them almost every day, literally for the past couple of weeks, and so convenient, so easy to use. So check that out. Basically, Genitrust as the what do you mean?
How do you sell for cash on there? Like, I don't know. Describe to me how it works.
They deposit cash into your bank account.
Wall of Coins does,
and it's not. Yeah, no, they
okay.
connect you with the buyer who deposits the cash. So, and that I love that because it's available the second they deposit it, and I can send them Bitcoin in literally seconds or minutes. So, for me, it's nice because I can have cash right away. I don't have to wait for any transfers or anything. And for the buyer, it's great because they can literally buy, I don't know, thousands of dollars worth of Bitcoin within half an hour, and they don't have to wait for any transfers or anything. It's in their hands within half an hour or less. So that's huge. John Stewart, our co-host, couldn't be here today, but he has a tweet. He said that my audio on the radio stream, my audio was a lot quieter, so I tried to bump it up. Hopefully it's a little better. On the Hangout, it should be more balanced because Google Hangouts kind of manages the audio themselves. And so hopefully the video is okay and the audio levels are fine. But let us know. It's a learning process. We'll definitely be working on it and trying to improve it. All that kind of stuff. So thanks for listening, John. He said it was on his lunch break, which is kind of funny because we've been discussing for a week or two, when should we run the show? When are people are going to be active? When are they going to have time to listen? And I think I'm the one that kept saying, let's do a lunch break. Let's do a lunch break. And John kept pushing for the evening. Like, well, let's see if evening's better. Tim, I don't know. What are you, Tim? You just kind of didn't care, right?
I didn't really care because it just, but then I did like the whole lunch thing, like whenever you brought it
Yeah,
up.
then in the end, you said, well, wait, let's do 12 to 2. I like the lunchtime. But I don't know. John, he wasn't against it. He just kept saying, well, look into it. Figure out if evening might be better. And we ended up going with lunch break. And that's what he said. Well, hey, I'm listening to YMB Live on my lunch break. So there we go, John. That's how it's supposed to work. Anybody out there, send us a tweet. Tell us what you're having for lunch. We're interested, seriously.
I'm not.
No, you are, Tim. Trust me.
Okay. You can send us food, maybe. Like send us just Chain Steps still does stuff, right?
Oh,
I'll take money from them. I'll complain about it all the time. I'll still take money from them.
Sorry, Tim. I was distracted by these tweets, but Coinfire has been so great to us during our last live show, and they would send us tweets all the time, and they're back. They sent us another tweet. They're doing live shows again. They put out the link. Holy crap. Thank you, Coinfire, for being here. Love to have you a part. Send us more tweets, any thoughts, anything. So glad to have you. We got some retweets from a couple people. Whitjack. There's more John Stewart. John said I was quieter. Hopefully I fixed that. So awesome. Well, if anybody else has tweets or thoughts, anything at all, you can go to youmeandbtc.com/live, and there's a button right there that you can click to send us the tweet. It'll fill in the username and the hashtag. Or if you just want to do it yourself, send it to @youmeandbtc with the hashtag YMBLive. Hopefully we'll find it and we can read it online. There's also the poll at youmeandbtc.com/live. I won't get into it now because I've done it a couple times already, but get there and vote in our poll because we want to know what you think. It's still holding down at 5-2 ads in favor of Bitcoin mining on a website. So, and I see there's a comment here. Oh yeah, same thing. Let me pay BTC not to see the ads. So cool. All right. Time for another story, you think, Tim?
Yeah.
I'll send you the link for our next one in just a moment. Like I said, we were kind of rushed this morning. We're a little rusty from not having done a show in several months. When would it have been, Tim? October, maybe? That we did our last live radio shows. Does that sound right?
When we did all that, October. No, I think it was done before then. I think it was September. It had already been having problems, and I think by September we weren't really even getting any communication back, right?
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, it is just the old radio station. We loved being a part of it, but eventually it just wasn't working out. They were being DDoS'd and stuff. So anyway, my point is with all that, I think it's been several months since we've done a live show, so we are a little bit rusty. So we were rushed this morning trying to get the audio right and the lighting and stuff. But what's that, Tim?
It did need to look good. You threw me in a room and then stuck me behind a table. There was no lighting set up in this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we were in the same room at first, but there was an echo because of the two mics. The audio was being picked up by both mics at once. So I shoved him off in the closet over there. So
basically, I'm surrounded by selling materials.
I'll drop one more. Go ahead.
So I do have an article that I can send to you if you aren't ready with that one. It's about the beautiful mind guy.
I have save that one, Tim, because I have one more lined up.
No, I want to go.
Before we get into that, though, for anybody that's recently joined us, I'll drop one more reminder. I'm Daniel Brown. We're the Yumi and BTC podcast. We're glad to have you, and I'm here with my awesome co-host.
Tim
Luther.
Baker.
Yeah, sorry,
Luther.
Tim. Nope, just Luther. No, you're not. This is my frog here. I don't know why I named him Luther. It was the first thing that came to mind. And he's my boss. He keeps an eye on me. He's my best co-host, and then there's Tim too. So
I'm second. I'm at least second though, right?
oh no, John's second, and then
No, but like right now, I mean.
and then how many people have we interviewed? Like 50 at least, probably. So then there's 50 more. So you're like 53, Tim. You know,
We've
you're
not had
top
52
100
co-hosts. There's no way.
I
At least like I'm maybe like.
No. I was saying.
Fifth.
I was talking about interviewees. We've probably interviewed 50-ish people, and maybe not that many, maybe 30. But here, Tim, you're definitely in the top 100. So
yes,
that's pretty good, right?
I'm good with that.
All right. So, this one's a touchy. This is a touchy headline, maybe. Bitcoin has empowered over 50,000 women and counting.
Never sent it to me.
And yeah, I sent you the link. This is interesting. I feel like it's been a pretty hot topic. I mean, maybe it's always been just something that comes up, but the idea of like feminism and empowering women, it's like I don't want to sound offensive, and I hope I don't. Of
You're
course,
already sounding offensive.
Yeah, I know. So exactly, you're exactly right. So it's tough to talk about this stuff. But basically, one of the issues when you talk about empowering women is just that some people, not everybody, but some people, especially a lot of people that call themselves feminists, but again, not everybody, but some people just take it too far, and they're overly focused on empowering women. They want women to have more power than men.
Oh, like the comment on this article that says, let's see, what is the comment? And your infographics only have illustrations of men in an article about women using Bitcoin because, and I'm like, it's a blank face, and it's just generally how people do it. No, we have to complain about this. Oh, and the population figures don't have dresses, apparently. I guess that's a problem too.
Oh gosh. Yeah, they have infographics with like a certain number of kind of stick figure things in order to indicate population, and they don't have dresses. So I don't even remember if I read this headline. Bitcoin has empowered over 50,000 women and counting. I guess this is from Cointelegraph, and they did an interview with Francesco Rulli, and I'll read the first paragraph or two here to just explain who he is and what he's been doing. At the end of 2013, after reading an article about Bernanke's perspective on Bitcoin and Mark Andreessen's position on Bitcoin, Francesco Rulli immediately thought of it as being a solution to his dilemma about how to distribute money to nearly 500,000 users scattered across the world that are registered on his platform. That inspiration led to the formation of Bitlanders, a platform enabling users to build engaging content, videos, blogs, photos, advertisements, which a patent-pending measurement and reward algorithm. I think that's supposed to be with a patent-pending measurement and reward algorithm. Buzzscore judges in turn. Oh, I guess it is which the algorithm. Yeah, which the algorithm Buzzscore judges in terms of quality as well as interactions to reward its creator with Bitcoin for content performance. Currently, Bitlanders is a community of over 500,000 registered users. It has differentiated itself by providing people in unbanked sections of the world the ability to leverage and monetize their talent, all thanks to Bitcoin. So here's the thing. I haven't looked into Bitlanders. I don't know every detail about it, but just the general idea, absolutely, that's so cool. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to have Bitcoin-centered media, articles, opinion, and stuff. We put it out there for people to enjoy, take part in, participate, comment, and this Bitlanders thing helps people do that and get Bitcoin in return. I think that's great. Any issues you see there, Tim? And I guess part of the point here is that there have been women all over the world who normally couldn't really, be significant in society, because there are countries like that where women just don't have as many opportunities. I don't know, they can't get bank accounts and stuff like that. And so now with the Bitlanders thing, they can produce media, they can do blogs, photos, and advertisements, stuff like that. And the better the quality, then they can get some Bitcoin in return.
Well,
I like that.
Yeah, I think it does what Bitcoin does with any kind of any class of people that aren't really favored by the traditional banking system, because it takes you out of it. So it's going to be good for it. I also like that. I mean, because a lot of I think I've heard about this before, and I think a lot of it ends up being a lot of it's used for journalism. I would expect, because if like they're talking about a 13-year-old girl in Afghanistan. At least I think, like, what's one of the best things she can do as far as what's going to be valuable to other people, what they're going to read, is talking about what's happening to her. So I think it does, it encourages more journalism, which I'm always for. I mean, you get into stuff where the journalism is biased, but I think the more voices there are, even if they're bad, even if they're not, I mean, not saying they are, but if they're screwed in a way that's wrong, if their thinking's wrong, it's still good to have a voice out there. So I think anything that's going to tell people, well, if you do this, and I mean, I don't know exactly how he's doing this or who's judging it content-wise, because I'm going to judge content-wise differently depending on.
Well, it's an algorithm, so you're right. It could be based on traffic and engagement, stuff like that.
So if it's like it rewards you to make interesting content, and in a situation like that, I think I guess what I'm trying to say is it's conducive to making people talk more about that, and it gives, like, you're allowed to be paid for, and you can say things both anonymously, so you're not worried about repercussions from people, or because, and also you're anonymous and you're getting paid anonymously. I mean, you can say that people lie just to make better stories. I mean, but I don't know. I think there's less of a problem. No, that's way too big of a statement. Oh no, I'm getting off of that now.
All right. Well, I do like your point, and this actually comes back to a little bit that we talked about last night during our recording. And if anybody's interested, that episode will go out tomorrow on Thursday. But we talked about how, in a broad sense, decentralization really is good for just about anything. The idea of having things distributed, of having the blockchain enforcing the rules and stuff, that we said that's really a great thing. And that's something that is easier to do with Bitcoin and media, because nobody's in control. You can decentralize the media. And I don't just mean news, I mean any kind of media, entertainment, the videos, music, whatever. And the more people there are that are able to produce that, then it's just more options, more competition, and eventually the better things are going to stand out. But at the same time, it's not going to be like our current system where 2 or 3 networks pull ahead. Decades ago, they were determined to be the best media networks out there. And so they got the power, and then eventually they stayed in power, and they can, ABC, CBS can do pretty much whatever they want now. I mean, sometimes they do good things and sometimes they do bad things, but they're pretty much just there and in power. But when things are more decentralized, it's easier for someone to have an influence but not abuse it, because if they abuse their influence, it's a whole lot easier to replace them. Does that make sense?
If what influence are you talking about? Like what
Just
kind of influence?
as a voice, as an opinion, as a media person, partner, or whatever. If kind of just like with yeah, just when there's more people have access to platforms to publish media, then because it's so easy and so fluid, if somebody gains a lot of influence, they can't abuse it. Well, they can, but they recognize that they shouldn't abuse it because they can be replaced. Unlike ABC and CBS and NBC,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, I get
sure,
what you
they
mean.
can be replaced, but it's going to take a whole lot of effort to actually make that kind of replacement happen.
Yeah, it floods it because it turns, and that's part of the problem is if I don't generally like things like this where it's just like, well, we'll just help downtrodden people because they obviously have like not every single person has something worth reading. And that's the only thing that I would say about that. Like why I don't generally like this stuff. But at the same time, if it's like what I was saying before, if it's a bad voice, like it's still okay to get it out there because you can. I mean, it's no, it's not easy to pick between the two, but or to no. I guess I just like the idea of just getting more people out there where it's kind of like everyone becomes a journalist where you're going to get a lot of stuff that's bad, but you're also going to get, I think if you increase it, you're going to get enough stuff that's good that it outweighs how much just like shitty journalism you're going to get from people who can't write or like I
Right.
don't like if I was an underprivileged youth in like a bad area of a town and they came in like, oh, here's computers because you're just I would still not be able to probably I probably would put more effort into it, but I'm not necessarily going to be able to do something great and worth money. So I hope that the algorithm is built around the page views and interactions like that and not just uh right. I mean, I hope it's more than just page views, so it's not just like clickbaity stuff because you run into that with stuff like BuzzFeed.
Oh, I
I
know.
hate BuzzFeed so much. Well, I hate it because I don't
Yeah,
like that they get
literally.
away with it. Because like if I could do it, I would do that. But it's just too much like clickbaity stuff, and I only complain about it because I didn't think of it first to make more money off of it. But that's kind of what I'm talking about. That sort of thing. Uh, or the old what was the old the old website where we try on or no the old website
Oh yeah, yeah. Tryon or Treon, yeah.
something like that,
And
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, no, okay, that I
it's
like
like a
that too. So that
flood
was
of
a
content.
similar thing. Yeah, where people could post content and get paid for it, but you're
A
right, it
lot
just
of it
got
was
spammed to
bad.
death. Well, yeah, a lot of it was bad, but also they the websites themselves had so many
Yeah.
ads. Like we've been talking about since the beginning of the show. There was just way too intrusive pop-up ads and everything. So there were a couple problems there. Although I still liked the idea because yes, there was a flood of content, but the other content did not necessarily have to take away from your content. If you had good content,
Yeah.
it could be shared, it could go high on Google, and so it still
Yeah,
worked
people
fairly
knew the
well.
higher yeah, people knew the people who did quality work, you start to make a name for yourself, and then people go, "Well, if you didn't do that, I'm not necessarily gonna check your stuff out." So,
Right. So even that still sort of worked. But then when you have a network like that, there are ways to improve it. You can have kind of like Reddit upvoting and downvoting, right? You just see, do people like this or not? And if they don't, then it just goes away and that's fine. And so there are all kinds of innovations and optimizations that can be done to just make sure that the quality is good. And if it's not good, you don't even have to take it down. You just people will almost automatically be less interested if content is not good, and that's fine. That's the way it should be. So I think backing up quite a bit, I think your point was that the competition and the value that comes from the competition will outweigh the spammy articles or the clickbait articles, right?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to outweigh them necessarily. I think that you're going to get mostly stuff that's not that good, but if you allow more people to talk,
Right, but
you
I
also
mean
get
the value.
oh
I
the
mean
value.
the
Yeah, okay.
value from the
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
I
the
didn't
value
understand.
from the good ones will
Yeah,
outweigh the bad value from just having some clickbaity links around
yeah,
the website.
yeah. I think the more you open it up to
Sweet.
more people, the more. I mean, bad articles are still entertaining for me. So really, but they might just be lies.
Well, it depends on what kind of bad article, because BuzzFeed, I don't
Uh,
know. I mean, yeah, it can be entertaining, but so often it's like you click on it and you're like, honestly, that's all you had to tell me. It's like
this is
I'm
like
pretty
5 lines,
sure
then
the
just
rest
like
is black.
700 pictures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing too, is they split up their content onto several different pages, so you have to load the ads several different times and stuff.
I
So
mean, that's what everyone. I mean, Crack does that. College Humor does that. I mean, any of those.
right, right.
That's how they make their money. But I don't,
All right. Well, Tim, send me the next article, and I will. Uh oh. This is not what I meant to do. There we go. I clicked. I was scrolling through our tweets and I accidentally clicked play on the YouTube video. I guess you can actually watch it right in the Twitter feed. That's pretty cool. But I played it there for a second. So, but good chance to remind people. We've got about a half hour left. So glad that you're here with us. So glad to have everybody that we can. We've had Wall of Coins throwing some shout outs on the Twitter feed. We've had coinfire.cf throwing some shout outs in the Twitter feed. Star Soccer 9, Josh, thanks for watching. Hopefully the YouTube video is working pretty well now. Hopefully the audio stream's working pretty well now. Although that we're going to be working on that, trying to get it to smooth out. I just over the past few days tried to get this radio server going. And it is working, but it's a little quirky, so that's not our focus at the moment. Our focuses are the live video feed and the podcast. So this will be a podcast for anybody that can't make the live show or didn't make the live show. Thank you also for being here. Thank you for listening. This is all brought to you by Wall of Coins and Genitrust. There we go. I got the pointing right again. And Genitrust is the parent company of Wall of Coins. I use their website literally almost every day to sell some Bitcoin and for cash in my bank account. It's a great way to do that. And you can also buy Bitcoin literally in minutes. You can have thousands of dollars worth of Bitcoin in your hand. So make sure you're checking that out. We also have a few tweets from our co-host, John Stewart. He couldn't be here today. Hopefully he will be over the next few weeks. Thanks for listening, John. And if anybody else wants to send us a tweet, at Yumi and BTC with the hashtag YMBLive. And you can go to yumiandbtc.com/live to see. Oh, there's the video feed is there. There is the audio feed if you just want audio for some reason. There is the tweet button that just fills in the stuff that you want to tweet us, so that's convenient. And then also the poll. That's been pretty fun today. We've been going back and forth on this poll. This was the first story we did this morning. I guess it was technically this afternoon. But the question is, when you go to a website, there were these people at a hackathon who made this program where instead of seeing ads, the website would just have your computer do mining for the website, not for yourself, for the website. Instead of seeing ads, that's how they would make their money, is just by having your computer do mining. Which would you prefer? Are you okay with having somebody doing Bitcoin mining on your computer, or would you rather see ads? So get over there, yumiandbtc.com/live, vote in our poll. Right now, it's 5-2 in favor of ads, which surprised me a little bit, but there are also two other answers who they filled in their own answer, and they basically said, I'd rather pay my own Bitcoin to see no ads. Just kind of a premium content system where you pay your own Bitcoin and you get to see the content without ads. I really love that idea. As a content curator, I would so much rather just get Bitcoin directly than show you ads and try and sell ads and stuff like that. So I do like that idea. And over the next few weeks, we've already been talking about this recently. We might have some premium features on our website. So we'll get to, hopefully we can make that happen. Get to umiandbtc.com/live and vote if you haven't already. And I guess Tim said he had an interesting story, right? Did you send me the link?
Yeah, I did. This one's not very long though. It's kind of just you've seen The Beautiful Mind, right, Daniel?
Oh,
you like that movie a lot.
oh yeah, I love that movie. It's honestly one of my favorites.
He died a few days ago. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
that.
Yeah, on
Yeah, I
Saturday.
did see that.
Okay. Well, for some reason, people are well, not for some reason. People are saying because of like how involved he got with. I mean, how involved he was in math, and I don't know. Some people are saying that he got over schizophrenia in like the mid '70s by going and like learning about computers and game theory. Uh, and I don't know why I couldn't find anything in the article originally like why they're saying it. Just, I don't know why Cointelegraph is. It's from Cointelegraph. The article is called "John Nash's Death Prompts Renewed Speculation Over Bitcoin Creation," which I was kind of expecting the article to say why. It kind of just gave some weird like a Bitcoin
Well,
Talk user
no,
said
it says
something.
no, yeah, because it's he
Ideal
had a
money. He created
theory of
ideal money.
ideal money. So he was kind of had these economic theories. I don't know what they are. I can try and see if I can figure it out real quick. But basically,
Mhm.
because of this theory, yeah, I guess just on Bitcoin Talk, they were just kind of trying to say, well, hey, does this fit in with does this fit in with Bitcoin? Is this really ideal money? Would he have supported Bitcoin, stuff like that? So
Well, it
yeah, I
seems
guess,
like he was okay with it, but his stuff is. I think his ideal money is. Actually, I don't know.
I'm looking on Wikipedia. I'll just read the intro here. Ideal money is a theoretical notion. Oh wow, promulgated by John Nash, Nobel laureate in economics, to stabilize international currencies. It is a solution to the Triffin dilemma, which is generally about the conflict of economic interests between the short-term domestic and long-term international objectives when a currency is used in a country, when a currency used in a country is also a world reserve currency in the meantime. So, okay, well, yeah, why don't I just keep reading this introduction? This is really interesting. How does the idea of ideal money appear? Money can be recognized as a technological development comparable to the wheel and of similar antiquity. Among the more recent developments in technology that facilitates transfers of utility in the sense of game theory are systems like those of EasyPass, by means of which vehicles traversing toll bridges or roll highways can pay their toll fees without stopping for the attention of human personnel manning the toll booths. In this lecture, I present remarks about the history of monetary reforms and about the issues of comparative quality or merit, along with a specific proposal about how a system or systems of ideal money might be established and employed. So that was a quote from his. I don't know if it was a paper or a lecture or a theory. I guess he said it was a
Like a
lecture.
lecture,
So
yeah.
that's a quote from John Nash. And yeah, I guess it's just the point is there's two different kinds of some people use money long term and some people use money short term, and it becomes a conflict when the same money is used in both ways. Yeah, there's a section here on why gold cannot be an ideal money. You think that's worth looking over?
Well,
Yeah, actually, I will because. Go ahead.
I was his whole thing about. I mean, gold or silver can't be money, as he says it changes in value. So I don't see how much like Bitcoin this is because his whole thing was about like trying to make a more. It sounds almost like a world currency. Like, I mean, that's what Bitcoin is, but it
Yeah.
sounds like it's more of like it's something that needs to be implemented because it somehow magically develops a value that stays consistent somehow. I don't know how that works.
Magically.
Yeah, well, magically, because I guess the government somehow figures out a way to force people to always pay something. Maybe not magically, it's just violently, I guess.
Yeah, and that at the moment, if he really is that concerned about stability, then Bitcoin would not fit at all right now. I mean, we said earlier it is getting a lot more stable, but still it's not. So,
but it's not
so if
stable in
you're
that
concerned
sense.
about stability, right, right.
It's
I do like I
right
see.
now. Bitcoin's not going to be something that can be forced. How? Never mind. What were you going to say?
I like this would I don't think I would believe this at all, but somebody said that the timeline of Nash's own career would actually fit in with him being the creator of Bitcoin itself. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I don't
it's
know where
an
that's going. They
interesting
also,
theory, of
yeah,
course.
and then a few of the Reddit members after that, people thought about that. Then they started saying that there must be foul play. And according to one person, you're a fool if you don't believe there was foul play involved. And yeah, who knows? But
I'm not
I
sure how
doubt the
long this
NSA is
video is.
killing John Nash over Bitcoin. I'm more of the mind of the like one of these comments. It was, um, they were making the comment that coding was hard just for older people, and because I'd say his mind was, I mean, he's pretty well known for his mind being all over the place, just from
Well,
the
yeah,
psych
no, but
drugs and all everything.
yeah, but that's a double-edged sword because
Does
yes, his mind was all over the place, but it was the same disease that made him insanely good at math and recognizing patterns and stuff. So,
does that work for coding like that though? I don't know. Like, I'm asking the
I
question.
mean, it depends what you're doing. If you're trying to write some really efficient like code that's like so well designed that it goes real fast and real efficient, I think he would be good for that. In terms of actually kind of even just, I mean, it depends what level your disease is at, but even just managing a keyboard could be difficult if your mind is really out there. So
What disease did he
it's
have?
kind of both. What? Oh, didn't they say schizophrenia or bipolar or
Oh yeah,
something?
schizophrenia. Yeah. Okay.
I want to play this video though. It's pretty short, just a minute 25, and I think this is actually Nash on Bitcoin. So we'll see what he says.
Yeah, it is.
The Bitcoin might not be it, but if you have, you could have gold, which is a step to honesty, or silver. Silver, if you had silver, that was argent in French, and it would be intrinsically honest. But it becomes possible once Caesar is minting gold and it finds it's very well used and accepted, and the empire is working well on the gold coins. Another Caesar may come back and say, well, I can put a little of lead inside these gold coins and still pass them out at the same value. There'll be the Aurelius of so-and-so. And that sort of thing can happen.
So I guess the question was, can cryptocurrency can currencies be compatible with honesty? And he was answering that question. And I guess his answer was not, well, I think he was saying Bitcoin maybe, but not with gold and silver because they can be counterfeit. What?
I just don't like. There wasn't an answer there really. He was like, gold can be fake. All right, okay.
Yeah.
So can anything.
Yeah. Well, no, but no, that's the thing though. Bitcoin can't be faked. I mean, if it's on the blockchain, especially if you wait for confirmations and you make sure nothing's double spent, and as long as you stay on the blockchain, then no, it can't be faked. Right?
Yeah.
So
Because it's not a physical
that's the
thing.
benefit. I mean, yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's that is a huge benefit, and that's one of the main reasons people use it is because there is a blockchain and everybody can see it, everybody can audit it. So I don't know, but then and then he's also right about gold is it can be, I mean, it can be counterfeited, but you can also test for that too, just like in Bitcoin you can see. I mean, it's harder to do with gold, I'm sure, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you think of gold at its most basic form, you can't really forge a gold atom, right? If you're able to like actually test it and see how many protons are in the atoms, you can't forge that really. I don't know. Maybe you
Because we
can.
can look at Bitcoin closer, that it's easier, I guess, to figure out. Probably.
Yep.
Who knows?
Sweet. Well, didn't you say you had a couple stories you wanted to touch on?
Well, I had another one on here. It's a alternative to the Darkwallet.
Okay. Yeah, send it my way,
Yeah,
and
I
I'll
will.
remind people. Oh, we're running low on time, so if you're interested in voting in the poll, it's actually going to close. I think I wasn't too sure on the time zone, so I'm not sure if I did this right, but I'm pretty sure the poll is going to close right at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you haven't voted yet, make sure you get over there to youmeandbtc.com/live. And the question was basically, we talked about this story at the very beginning of the show. There are people who set up a program where you could run it on your website, and when people came to your website, instead of making money with ads, you could make money by having their computer do mining for you as the website owner. And the question is, which would you prefer? Would you prefer ads, or would you prefer that your computer does mining for somebody else? And a lot of people prefer ads. It's 5-2 right now. But if you have an opinion, there's also a section for you to write your own answer if you have any other thoughts. So get over there to youmeandbtc.com/live. Still open tweet lines. They're open now, and they'll be open all week long, honestly. If you want to send us a tweet to @youmeandbtc with the hashtag YMBLive. We've had 3 or 4 people sending us tweets, giving us Twitter love with the retweets. So glad to have you guys. We can't say how much we love to have listeners, have people interacting. It means everything. It makes the show more interesting. So
It reminds us
thanks
we're
for
not
all
just
that.
talking to ourselves.
Yeah, well, that's interesting too, Tim. You know,
How much we do it.
when your face is on screen, it just, people are bound to just be interested. So
I don't know. Was that? I'll take that, I guess. I'll take it as a compliment. However way you
was that
meant
a compliment, or am I just that ugly that people can't tear their eyes
freak
off?
show.
Oh gosh. Anyway, yeah, Wall of Coins, Star Soccer 9, Josh, John Stewart, our co-host, couldn't be here today, sending us some Twitter love. We got a few retweets from Bitcoin Not Bombs. That's actually, glad to have you guys listening. I'm actually wearing the Bitcoin Not Bombs shirt, so we love those guys. We did the Don't Expose Evil meme contest with them a month or so ago. And we hope, I haven't talked to you much about this, Tim, but we might be able to reconnect with them at Pork Fest. Is that still an option, Tim? You think we're planning on going?
Can you repeat that? What did they say?
Well, Pork Fest. Drew Phillips from Bitcoin Not Bombs is going to be there, and I'm hoping we're going to be there too. And I'm just asking you if
Okay,
that is still a thing.
I mean, I'd
do
still
go?
be interested in that, definitely. It would just depend on what kind of work schedule I had. Or people should just
Cool.
pay us
Yeah,
to go.
well-
Probably, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we've had sponsors in the past for going to a conference, and we can do interviews and talk about sponsors and stuff. So that's a possibility. Always, you're welcome to contact me about stuff like that. Daniel at umianbtc.com.
Or
But
we
even
can
if
come with a voice recorder, and you can pay us not to give you ads, maybe, if it'll work like that.
are you talking like blackmail? Like we'll say
No,
bad things about you if you don't give us money?
no, we just won't bother them. I mean, it's still kind of blackmail, I guess. It's like mild blackmail.
Okay.
I need to just quit
All right.
talking.
Well, we will cram in this last story. We got about 10, 15 minutes left. Go for it, Tim. A serious Darkwallet contender, and we have said a lot of nice things about Darkwallet. So, but we also like competition. So this is interesting. Go for it.
Well, it seems like Darkwallet, it's gotten delayed quite a bit recently. The code is still out. It's open source, but it's not very stable. I think it's still relying on the Google Chrome browser, and they still don't have a mobile version yet. This new wallet, which you can check out, the article is by Jamie Redmond, if it's the same guy, I knew him from a while back when I still had like a Facebook. I remember talking for a while. He was the guy who I remember putting something about putting up something about Coinbase. I think we talked about that in a podcast a while ago, but about Coinbase not putting stuff through, like the problems they were having. Do you remember that at all?
A little bit. I know it was like it. I think it's still in alpha, basically. Like it's just still.
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah.
still trying to make it
hasn't
happen, I
gone
guess.
forward. Well, the Samourai wallet isn't out yet. It's a wallet for Android, and their explanation for what they're doing is it's a quote: "We are excited about Bitcoin and share Satoshi's vision of what Bitcoin will achieve. Unfortunately, we have seen a disturbing trend in the Bitcoin world. We are seeing the rise of centralized Bitcoin banks. These banks are just following the arbitrary regulations imposed by arbitrary men. We want to help build the tools that support Satoshi's vision, the tools that always keep the user in control of their money, the tools that don't ask for permission, the tools that operate outside of the machine." So automatically, I'm already interested in this because it's more designed, more geared towards anonymity and privacy. And let's see, they have.
Yeah, I mean, this is another thing that we talked about last night with the decentralization, and that episode will go out tomorrow. So definitely check that out if you're interested. But I was asking the question, like we were talking about the Silk Road and how they got caught and stuff, and I was just like, well, where's the hope? I mean, if the cops can have undercover agents, and if they can, if people are gonna keep track of IDs and stuff, like what can we do to make sure that we just, I mean, the cops are annoying. They're going to catch people, they're going to harass people. So what can we do? And the answer was basically decentralize everything, right? I mean,
build more stuff like this.
Yeah, exactly like this. Just have a decentralized, actually truly anonymous system to run markets and stuff like that. And yeah, that's really what this is. So I think it really is a step in the right direction. Now, one thing that I also said is it's worth remembering that it's always going to be a relative scale.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you're really, really decentralized, I mean, even Bitcoin with the blockchain and everything, it's still subject to change. It's still subject to manipulation. It's just a whole lot harder to make stuff like that happen. So that's why we love it so much. And hopefully these markets are the same way. Sure, they're not going to be perfect and you never know what could happen. But if they're done right, they could be, or these wallets, I guess, not a market. But if it's done right, it could be a huge help in decentralization and removing power from one person and stuff like that. So
Yeah. speaking of decentralization, this one, I guess, has OpenBazaar integration, or at least they're planning on having that built in. I don't know if they have it now. So that's definitely a step towards that. It let's see, where was it? Oh, this one also, it'd be a mobile, be a coin shuffling feature, or which is that similar to like shared coin
Darkwallet?
shuffling? That's the same thing as mixing, similar.
It's mixing, yeah. I don't think. I mean, shared coin doesn't mix them. Shared coin only mixes them when you make a transaction. I think in this
Yeah,
situation,
okay.
they're constantly being mixed.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it just depends. I know Dash Coin, which used to be Dark Coin, they have systems in place where you can just regularly mix your coins if you like.
Okay. They're also saying the alpha version, the 3.0, it's going to be the last one that they're going to be having come out, but their next major release, the last alpha, I don't know what they're doing after that, but the next major release will contain more fundamental privacy features. So I guess
After alpha comes beta, Tim.
Thank you, Daniel. Privacy features like Tor and VPN support and a pin screen, which the pin screen, it's pretty simple, but I do like the idea of it with against like spyware and keyloggers. I think that makes a difference. I mean, I don't see why not.
Right.
I mean, I would. Yeah, I've been wanting something like that on my Celium, like a pin code, but.
What do you mean, like, so that you mean if somebody takes your phone so they can't send your coins?
No, I think it was like a pin screen, like where you touch the screen instead of typing in like a normal code, like on your normal keyboard. You touch the screen, like the same, like you could have it on a computer instead of using the keyboard. You use your mouse to click different letters or different
What's
numbers.
the purpose of that? What are you saying that would do?
Keyloggers or something like that, where it's on your computer and it's checking to see what you're typing in.
Okay. And so you're saying you want that on your phone so that it would be harder to track your.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's supposed.
All right. Yeah. No, that's definitely a good thing. Yeah. No, that's huge. Cool. I mean, anything else on this before we wrap up? We're coming down to 5 minutes left. So I feel like for being rusty, I feel like we made it happen pretty darn well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with this. This is what the end of every single one of our episodes is. Well, I don't know. Oh, that was the other thing. It has a stealth mode where you turn that on and it takes you off of recent apps. It disables the ticker. It disables everything real quick. So if someone's checking your phone, that's kind of like a last ditch thing you can do to hopefully keep them from seeing it. Makes it a little bit harder for them to find.
I'll play this video real quick. It's only 35 seconds, so hopefully the audio is good. Okay, there is no audio. Never mind then. It's just a video, so never mind. But yeah, stealth mode is a thing.
You have to check it out for yourself.
Yeah, we'll mention that. Most of these stories were from CoinDesk and Cointelegraph. But it's worth reminding people that if you have any stories, I mean, we're more or less done for this week, but all week long, the open tweet lines are open. Use the hashtag YMBLive and send the tweets to @UMeandBTC. If you have any stories that you want us to hit next week, Wednesday from noon to 2, we'll be here over your lunch hour. So hopefully you'll be free for at least part of it. And John should be here next week. I'm Daniel Brown, and I'm here with Tim Baker. So thanks for being here, Tim.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Daniel, and everyone listening.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. Literally, we're so glad to have you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in on the podcast, too. If you missed part of this, it'll go out on our podcast feed at umeandbtc.com. So definitely get there. Make sure you subscribe with email. There's an email box on top and on the side and stuff. So, you'll get updates with our new articles, our new podcast. You definitely want to do that. There's a Bitcoin address in the sidebar too. If you're interested in supporting us, that would be huge. We love, so glad to have every bit of support we can get, and it means literally everything. If you were, if you were entertained, or if Tim's just so ugly that you literally couldn't take your eyes off the screen, then we entertained you for a little bit. So you could donate a little bit. That would mean the world to us. So if you're interested in that, send us tweets again. I will take one more look at the poll to see if we got any last votes. But I think that the ads are going to win for today. Last time I checked, it was 5-2 in favor of ads. And even if you count the others, the people who responded and said, I'd rather pay Bitcoin for premium content, even with those included, still 5-2, or 5-4 if you count all the other responses. So ads win for now. That's what we have on our website. A couple of them. I guess that's what people generally prefer, but we're going to try out some new opportunities over this summer. Thank you. Huge shout out. Sorry about that. Huge shout out to Genitrust and Wall of Coins. They've been great to us. They're helping support this show. Thank you. We can't do it without you guys. Genitrust just tries to make Bitcoin easier and more convenient to use, and that's why they created Wall of Coins. It's just a super easy way to buy and sell Bitcoin for cash or with cash at wallofcoins.com. I use them almost every day. It is one of the best services I've ever used, Bitcoin services. So check that out. Tim, I'm thinking we did this during our old live shows kind of last summer. We closed the show with a New Week song because we went from 10 p.m. to midnight on Saturdays. So we welcomed in the new week with a song. This is, I don't know, like it's hump day, right? So that's the time of the week that this show will be hump day lunch hour. That would be such a weird show. But how are we going to welcome in the second half of the week, Tim? I'll show you what songs I have, or I'll list them real quick. These are the same ones that we used during our last shows.
You didn't get to play some of these.
I have Glossoli by Sigur Rós. I have Let It Go from Frozen. I have looks like some of them might have Mr. Wendell by Arrested Development. Readers Do You Read by Chris Zabriskie. Send Me On My Way by Rusted Root. Any that sound good to close off the show and welcome in the second half of the week?
Oh, Rusted Root, I guess. Send Me On My Way. All
right, Rusted Root, here we go. Hopefully the volume's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'll play our regular music real quick right before the closing song. There we go. Thanks again. I'm Daniel Brown, Tim Baker, at YouMeAndBTC, YouMeAndBTC.com. Check out our show notes there. This will go out as a podcast. Oh, yeah, there's Luther, too, the frog, yes. My boss right behind me, glaring at Tim on my screen. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, send us, if you have a better idea for this frog here, send us a tweet. It's been amazing. Like I said, this went way better than I could have expected for being rusty and having not done this for several weeks. Other than being about 8 minutes late, I don't know. That was pretty much without a hitch. So thanks again. And we'll see you next week. We will, next hump day lunch hour, we'll be here. And we're going to welcome in the second half of the week with Send Me On My Way by Rusted Root. See you guys.
Yep, see ya.
So much fun, and we'll be back next week for Hump Day Lunch Hour. See
Join
you
us,
guys.
please.